The Broncos are back. Bo Nix just knocked off the undefeated defending Super Bowl champions. Sean Payton needs a wheelbarrow for his balls. Let's have a party, man. Let's do it right now. What a win for the Denver Broncos. Dubs in the chat, LFB's in the chat. Oh my God, that was incredible. And I cannot wait to talk about it on the DNVR Broncos postgame show presented by Bet365 with, of course, my guy, Super Bowl 50 champion, Benny Fowler. We got Hank over in the Hank Tank. We got Zach Stevens at the link, ready to join us a little bit later. And my God, Club Dub must be popping off. Benny, what is your instant takeaway from this game?
My instant takeaway from this game is, wow, what an incredible win. A win on the road. Very important, I think. Biggest takeaway is this is the Broncos' biggest win since Super Bowl 50.
Ooh!
I think this is the biggest win for Broncos since Super Bowl 50. This is... Sean Payton talked about this being a Super Bowl team. Well, you have to become the champ, you got to beat the champ. And regardless of how Philadelphia has been playing, they've won 20 out of their last 21 games, and the Broncos went on the road, calls going against them. First half didn't go great, and Bo comes out there and plays incredible defense. Also incredible Bo goes out there and plays incredible offense. The defense and Vance Joseph and the adjustments that they made in the second half, man, I mean, Vance is going to get head coaching looks after this. I mean, they put together a complete second half. We gave Sean a lot of heat, deservedly so, talking about Bo being a top 4, top 5 quarterback. But now I can actually see what he was talking about. Bo in the second half, 14 for 18, over 100 and something passing yards, got Evan Engram involved, back shoulder throws to Courtland, throws over the middle, using his legs to scramble, and then also just situational awareness for the most part. That is what you want to see, and now you can actually see what Sean was talking about. That's a huge win, especially now you're going over this trip to London. You're getting ready to play two New York teams that aren't good. You should become the next couple games. You should finish. Your record should be now 5-2 over the next couple weeks. So there are definitely some wins on the calendar now. Baltimore going down and not looking as great. Though biggest win since Super Bowl 50. That's my headline right there.
I love it, and it leads perfectly into my biggest takeaway, which is they got over the hump when it comes to close, tight games against good teams late. And we've talked about it in the losses. To me, those situations are all about confidence. Confidence. You got to be able to believe that you're going to make it happen. You got to be able to believe that you are going to win. And the good teams that do this week in, week out, never doubt themselves that they're going to win these football games. And I think Sean Payton had a stroke of genius when he said, I'm not going to leave it up to you guys to be confident in yourselves. I'm going to show you how confident I am in you, and especially you, Bo Nix. I'm going to put the game in your hands on a play that I know is going to work, but it's up to you to deliver the throw to give us the lead. And there's a lot of time left in that game when Sean Payton did that. So it's not like it was, they scored a touchdown to tie it with 10 seconds left. They decided to go for the win. I really think that was Sean Payton saying to Bo and saying to this team and to this offense, I believe in you guys. Go win the football game. They took it. They ran with it. And we will look back on this game for, I think, a long time as the moment the Broncos cleared that, that hump.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I think he also had the belief in the defense.
Yep.
That, hey, I don't think they can score on us at all. And I think we're going to get the ball back and we're going to have an opportunity to either score another touchdown or a field goal. But I think Sean, man, big balls.
Yeah.
Big balls with a 2-point conversion call with that much time left on the clock. But Hank and I were talking in the pregame show. We knew this was a Sean Payton game.
Yep.
This is a Sean Payton game. This is the reason why they pay you a lot of money. This is the reason why you are regarded as one of the best play callers. And Hank and I talked about Kyle Shanahan and Kevin O'Connell and all these coaches and how they're playing with these backup quarterbacks and how they are just developing these quarterbacks. And we got a chance to see Bo really develop today. And for the first 5 weeks of the season, he's progressively gotten better. Now, everybody's going to point to the Chargers game where things didn't go right, but he was reading the field the right way. Last week, played really well, read the field the right way. The first half didn't go great, but the sign of a great quarterback is that you don't let things snowball. You can handle the adversity, and he weathered the storm throughout the first half. There were some opportunities. He actually saw the field pretty well in the first half. He just didn't complete any passes. And in the second half, he completed those passes. I thought Bo played really well in the second half, and that is top 4, top 5 quarterback play. What we saw in the second half, super efficient, making plays. The back shoulder throws, we talked about it on the watch along. I mean, that's high level quarterback play, to read the leverage of the defender as Courtland's running down the field, and then obviously Court continuing to make big plays. But back shoulder throws, not everybody can make those types of throws, and I thought Bo did an incredible job delivering the ball and delivering it on time. The rhythm and timing there was there in the second half, and those are things that you love to see.
Yeah, I mean, this was an announcement of an arrival from Bo Nix. I'm ready. I'm here. I can do all of the things that this team needs me to do to win a big football game on the road.
Yeah.
In one of the most hostile environments in the NFL.
100%.
It was absolutely a statement from Bo Nix that, like, I'm here, I'm ready.
Yep.
And it was one after another. There's the first back shoulder throw to Courtland on the left side. There's an even bigger one with pressure in his face where he lobbed it up a little higher, gave Courtland some more time to react to it. And then I think play of the game, throw of the game is 3rd and 15. Courtland Sutton coming on a dig, and Bo Nix unleashes an absolute missile. Hits him perfectly. Courtland's even able to turn it up and create a big play out of it. I mean, the combination of those 3 throws alone, combined with some of the other stuff that he did in that fourth quarter, it was fully an announcement of Bo Nix's arrival.
That might have been my favorite throw all year. You said 3rd and 18, right?
I think it was 3rd and 15.
Yeah, 3rd and 15. Like you said, deep dig, deep curl. But he released that ball before Courtland got out of the break. So that means the anticipation was there. That means he was seeing the field the right way. Great route by Courtland to come back and then also get the first down. But 3rd and 18 on a deep curl route, those are hard throws. That's a hard down and distance to complete. And the fact that you got that conversion right there is huge. I think Bo and Courtland are playing some of the best football from a wide receiver, quarterback standpoint, and that's only going to get better. But I thought Bo was super confident. Troy Franklin with some big plays. Even the role players like a Trent Sherfield, the stick route that he caught for the first down and turning upfield. And how about the Evan Engram sighting?
Yes.
How about the Evan Engram sighting? Now Broncos fans can start to get super excited about that. You see him on the delay off the play action, and that's the play that he scored on. But even the incredible catch over the middle on the deep over route. These are the things that start to make an explosive offense. This is where confidence starts to build, and this is going to be that defining win. This could be, obviously, this is the most important and the best win of the Sean Payton, Bo Nix era, but this could be the turning point now on the trajectory of Bo's career and Sean Payton's career as a Broncos head coach and the quarterback. These wins right here do so much for confidence. They do so much for the players. I mean, I can't emphasize it enough of like what this actually means in that locker room, because this is not a BS win.
No.
That's a hard team to play against, and they usually win the tight games.
Yep.
They usually get the calls to go their way. But we negated all of that. The Broncos negated all that, and it's a really well done job, especially on the road. It's hard to play there, like you said, RK. It's loud in there, but Sean, hats off to Sean. And I know we gave him a lot of crap in the first couple games for some gutsy play calls.
Yeah.
But Sean believes in himself. And as fans, sometimes we need to not overreact to certain things, because Sean has the ultimate belief. And even the 4th and 8 that he did call against Tennessee, the play was open.
It was.
It was open. In the 2-point conversion here, ballsy play. And shout out to Troy Franklin for running a great route. Bo, what a dime. I mean, just leading Troy Franklin to the pylon. It's either his ball or no one's.
Yep.
Those are the types of plays.
Great job by Troy to hold on.
100%. Those are the plays that you like to see.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm just so fired up for this team. It's like they skipped the middle levels of the video game when it comes to beating tough teams in close games and decided to go straight to the final boss. And it's going to be so big for their confidence in those situations moving forward. Let's bring in Hank here, go into the Hank tank. Hank, biggest takeaway from today's game?
Biggest takeaway to me is that Sean Payton was right. You know, people were upset in the offseason when he said this is a team that's capable of winning the Super Bowl. And then after they lose the game to the Colts and lose the game to the Chargers, they say, how could you possibly have said that? This team doesn't look that good. He was right. The problem for the Broncos isn't that they aren't capable, it's that they shoot themselves in their foot. And I mean, watching this game today was still true. Most of the drives that didn't work out were because of penalties. When the Eagles scored, it was because Riley Moss was up on a guy and gave up a big play. You know, it's not that they consistently get beat. They do a good job of playing pretty good down-to-down football. What they don't have is the discipline to avoid, you know, a handful of mistakes a game, a couple handfuls of mistakes a game that ruin the game for them. Today, in the fourth quarter, they were able to come back and make all that happen. And, you know, it worked out. They showed that they're capable. When they play good football, they can beat good teams, and they can beat good teams on the road. Sean Payton was right. You know, if you can win this game, then you can win them all.
I completely agree. Real quick, when you get a chance, could you potentially ask them to lower the TVs downstairs, especially because once we get Zach on, we're not going to be able to hear a damn thing.
Yeah.
And also, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Common Spirit Sports Medicine. Athletes, weekend warriors, anyone who loves to move. For those experiencing any sports injury or chronic pain, the Common Spirit Mountain Region is home to an incredible sports medicine program, including their brand new sports center, Common Spirit Health in Parker. This team of qualified and passionate providers specializes in the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of sports-related injuries for all athletes, including your Denver Broncos. Their experts understand the unique demands your body faces, so you'll get a personalized treatment plan, combining things like physical therapy, injury prevention strategies, and strength training. Don't let injury keep you on the bench, or even better, be proactive about your health. For more information, visit mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
And shout out to Game Time. Game Time is awesome. It's where we get all of our tickets. I forgot to change the cameras, I can tell. But yeah, Game Time's the best. We're headed out to London this week. A lot of us have tickets. Some of us still need tickets, and those tickets are going to come from Game Time.
It's true.
Just like all tickets. I bought tickets to the Nuggets opener on Game Time. Went to 25 baseball games this summer, all with Game Time. Game Time's the place to be. So go check them out, whether you're trying to get to a Nuggets game, whatever it may be. Broncos back in town end of October. No, the Giants are here, so that's not too far away. Game Time is the best. You can take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNBR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DNBR for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
All right. Again, reminder, drop some LFBs in the chat. Drop some dubs in the chat. Hit this with a like. Maybe send this to your friend who's a little bit more of a bandwagon fan, only going to watch the post-game show after a big win. But a reminder to anyone who may be watching this for the first time, we do this 5 days a week, talking about the Broncos, having a blast with it, getting expert analysis from Super Bowl 50 champion Benny Fowler. We got Zach with his boots on the ground at the stadium. Hank giving us all the interesting stats. Me being an idiot fan. It's great. We have a lot of fun with it, so we'd love to have you guys around. And speaking of me being an idiot fan, I was actually a smart fan because 2 weeks ago, after the Broncos lost to the Chargers, everyone was, handing over their death certificate, saying this team's cooked, they can't do it, they're done, whatever. This guy sucks, that guy sucks, Bo's not it, and I couldn't take it, man. I went on a rant, just saying, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? The team is 1-2. They have a very winnable game the next week, and I said if they win that one, I'm picking them to beat the Eagles because I just have a funny feeling about it. And when that happens, everyone's going to be scrambling to erase all of the eulogies they wrote for the Denver Broncos after week 3. So I think I am trying to I was about to say I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I am trying to pat myself on the back. But it's really just a lesson to, like, football seasons are a long, developing, living organism that can change in the blink of an eye. It's such a week-to-week league. The Broncos went from, cancel the season to they can win the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. I mean, NFL seasons are very long, and the NFL is also a week-to-week league. And I think one of the most important things, if you look at the sample size of the first 5 weeks of the season, the Broncos, number one, positively have been in every game. The 2 games that they lost, they've been winning in the fourth quarter and lost on 2 buzzer beaters.
With zeros on the clock.
Can easily be 5-0. I think, and I talked about this last week on the show, after the first 4 weeks of the season, you kind of take a pause, you do an assessment of where you are, and then you try to figure out what do you do best. And obviously Sean and the coaching staff really did that. You saw Bo on the move a lot today. He has been completing the play-action pass and the over routes and the delay routes at a really high clip. And I thought they did a great job of just giving him opportunities to make some easy throws. I thought Bo made those throws. I thought he stood up in the pocket and did really well. Can we also give a shout-out to Vance Joseph and the masterpiece, the second-half masterpiece of play calling? I mean, loading one side and, dropping coverage and just confusion. Jalen Hurts, Nik Bonitto, 2.5 sacks, leading the league in sacks. Looks like he might get a sack championship here. And, I think the Broncos played really well. And then Talanoa Hufanga, I mean, he didn't get the pick on the tip pass, but he made plays. He was all over the field.
I mean, that was a big play.
That was huge. Yeah, huge plays. I thought the Broncos, DJ Jones with a TFL on one of those drives in the second half. I think just a really good sound effort. Pat Surtain with the PBU on A.J. Brown. These just all-around good effort. And, I know the chat is going to everybody's giving Riley a lot of grief, but he's got a tough job to do. They got 2 number 1 wide receivers over there. And, Devontae Smith made some plays. Devontae Smith doesn't suck. He's really good.
Makes plays every week.
Yeah, he's really good. It doesn't matter who you put on him. So, Riley, he had some tough moments yesterday, but good for him to stay within the game and not beat himself up. I thought, we could have done some things earlier in the first half to help him out a little bit, but didn't necessarily do that. But shout out to Vance, man, in the defense. Really well done game plan. Complimentary football in the second half. Field position won by the Broncos. Sean making great play calls. Vance making great play calls.
It was really, really special from Vance in the second half because what he was doing in the first half was not working.
No.
They were getting kind of carved. And Andre kind of highlighted what they were doing in the second half kind of like over and over and over again, which is they were bringing 4, but bringing an exotic 4, for lack of a better term, dropping guys from one side, bringing guys from the other side, a lot of defensive backs going into the backfield, and they because they were not winning off the edge quite a bit. I mean, Nik Bonitto ends up having a really great game stats-wise, but they were kind of getting held up a lot early in the game. So Vance says, let's bring the pressure from even further off the edge with faster people, and I felt like it sped up Jalen Hurts' clock just a little bit. I don't know if any of those defensive back blitzes ever ended in a sack for the defensive back, but it really threw chaos into the Eagles' offensive backfield. So great job by Vance to go with it. And then an impressive bag of plays, bag of tricks to keep going to it, but have 6 or 7 different variations of it that he could use. It was really, really awesome. And
it was it was crazy because usually you're going to want Nik Bonitto rushing the passer on all of those plays, but Nik Bonitto was dropping into coverage, which I think was confusing Hurts a lot. You got your best pass rusher on Denver dropping into coverage. You don't know who's coming now. So, you're right on, man. That was incredible game plan.
I want to go through play-by-play of a drive that I think we could be talking about for a long time. Broncos down 17-10. They get the ball let's see, what was the time on the clock? With 11 minutes and 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. This is already after a good drive to go make it 17-10. But they get the ball, and they are starting at their own 28-yard line. First play, Evan Engram for 18 yards. Big catch. A little bit behind him. He goes up and snags it, makes an awesome play. Next play, 14 yards to Courtland Sutton. That's the first back shoulder throw. Next play is a 5-yard run for R.J. Harvey. That was a pitch that they went to the outside. He almost broke it.
Should have been tackled in the backfield.
Yes. Next one was a 0-yard run to Dobbins. The next one, they get the bad offensive pass interference call on Pat Bryant.
Yeah, terrible call.
That makes it 3rd and 15. Bo Nix, 34 yards to Courtland Sutton, the play we talked about earlier, coming on an in-breaking route, and he absolutely hits him with a laser to convert that. And then the very next play, Evan Engram, incredible eyes by Bo to come all the way back to the probably the third read on the play, and get it to Evan Engram, who then makes a great individual catch to get it into the end zone. And, of course, right after that, the 2-point conversion to Troy Franklin. I mean, that is 1 0-yard play on that drive. It was a run to J.K. Dobbins, and then they had a really unfortunate penalty call. But other than that, bang, 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 bang. And I had a criticism of Sean Payton early in the season that I felt like he was emptying the bag too early in these games. It was like the opening script was incredible, just like that, bang, 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 bang. And then it almost felt like when the fourth quarter came around, he didn't have any more buttons to press, any more tricks up his sleeve. In this game, I felt like he was holding on to his stuff. And when they needed it most is when he went to some of the stuff that I think he knew was going to work, some of the Evan Engram stuff that we've been waiting for all year. And, of course, a play that I think he was just 100% confident was going to work, which is the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I think the 2-point conversion, he was definitely in his bag. You know, RK, what you're pointing out right there on that drive and what I see from a play calling standpoint, I didn't actually see anything special. I saw elite level of execution from Bo, the receivers, and the offensive line. Because if you think about the Evan Engram route, that's just a simple 18 to 22-yard route.
Yep.
You think about the R.J. Harvey, that's the crack toss play they've been running all game.
Mm-hmm.
The 3rd and 15 in to Courtland, that's one of your staple plays. That's something that him and Courtland hit all the time. And then the play action, Bo comes back to the third read. I think that is high-level execution of the plays by Bo and the offensive line and the receivers. Sean Payton, yes, in his bag in terms of the play calls, but I think the execution level and the poise by Bo to read the defense and read what he was seeing out there, I think that was the step, because that is elite-level quarterback play. That is the Brady's, the Mannings, the Josh Allens, the Mahomes. They have drives that look like that a couple times throughout the game, and I think it comes down to execution. You know, Sean didn't really design anybody open on those plays. They executed.
I like your take better than mine, so I'm going with you because it means it's more important for Bo to execute. But you're right. I think maybe it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
And Sean just being in a rhythm and trusting in Bo. And then, you know, you reminded me of something that we were saying early in the game, which was like, man, Bo looks really calm today.
Super calm.
The happy feet we really didn't see a lot of. There's a couple of the throws where he's moving forward, but I felt like they were actually necessary in those times. And we saw a lot of him back foot, read, throw. And he was really successful on those plays. So, gosh.
Yeah.
What a breakthrough.
Bo looked really good, looked calm, looked poised. You know, he didn't look jittery at all. I think Sean could have done, you know, a little bit of a better job of getting him the play call earlier. We had some delay of games. We had some, you know, sometimes still where the play clock was still running down. But even little things like we watched him swing the ball out to R.J. Harvey, or maybe it was J.K. Dobbins on a swing route. Bo looked really calm in the pocket, delivered a throw where J.K. could just run with the ball. And then you know he's calm when you have those play-action fakes. I think he had one to Troutman in the 4-minute drill at the end of the game where Troutman, he just lobbed it right over the defender. usually first week of the season or second week of the season, he was putting some heat on that. It's like, oh no, my guy's wide open. I'm going to lob this right over the defender. Adam Trautman has now a catch and run opportunity, stays in bounds and keeps the clock running. Those are the little things that those are the little things that become big in games like that.
Yeah. Hank, do you have anything to add just about that massive touchdown drive the Broncos went on in the fourth quarter?
That was the cool thing about Bo. You guys touched on it. Like, he was just so calm. You mentioned the blitz up the middle, just dump it off right over their heads. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you need from Bo. The thing is, you don't want to get totally away from the high-energy playmaking stuff. It's just knowing which button to press, and that's what's been missing, because it's just been I'm Bo Nix, the crazy, fast, jittery athlete who can make a play anywhere, but that was showing up when he was in the pocket. If you're able to switch between the Mahomes impression, the guy who's trying to get out of the pocket, trying to make something happen, and the Tom Brady impression, the guy who sits there, just gets the ball where it needs to go, no need to be too jittery, no need to look uncomfortable, just stand there, you've got the time, just deliver the pass. That's what's been missing, and today, for the first time this season, he's figured out which Bo he needs to be on each play, and that was nice to see.
Yeah. A couple of things I want to point out. One, Benny, you've said for a long time now that it takes a little bit for a Sean Payton offense to get going. And I think we learned last year that it takes a little bit in the season for Bo Nix to settle down. Yeah. Hopefully, as he becomes a more veteran player, he can be settled in week one. But I think both of those things are true now. You saw Sean really dial it up late in the game. You saw Bo really look comfortable and calm late in the game. The combination of those two things is so big. And then one more thing. Sean Tober. Yeah. Sean Tober, baby. Winningest coach in October in NFL history.
Wow.
Sean Payton. It just takes a little while to get him going. Once he gets going, they go. So happy Sean Tober to everyone at home. And also, let's take another break really quick and give a shout out to our friends at Taco Bell. Whew. I've had a lot of sad Taco Bell lately. It's a nice thing to have after like a tough loss. Could be a happy Taco Bell night. Happy Taco Bell hits even harder.
What's that order going to be?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because they have the new Cantina chicken menu, and in there they have the Cantina crispy chicken taco, and it is so elite. It's got this like slow roasted, super tender chicken. And then it goes hard shell, but then they melt cheese around the hard shell. It's really unbelievable. So I'm going with one of those. Probably get me a 5-layer burrito or steak grilled cheese burrito. And then, depending on how hungry, maybe throw in a chicken quesadilla.
Nice.
That's my happy Taco Bell order. Tell me what your guys' is. And by the way, if you want the most cost-effective happy Taco Bell order, go with the $7 Buffs box, featuring 4 Taco Bell classics and a large drink with a collectible cup. Regardless, shout out to our friends over at Taco Bell who are donating $1,000 to the Golden Buffalo Scholarship Fund for every Buffs touchdown scored this year. Buffs and Broncos love the bell.
And shout out to End Credit Union. On my drive in here to the bar every day, I get to go past the massive Pat Surtain mural that End Credit Union put up there, the little logo up there for the Defensive Player of the Year. They get to do that because they're official banking partner of the Denver Broncos, and they have a bunch of cool stuff that comes along with that, including a Broncos checking account. If you sign up for End Credit Union's Broncos checking account, you get a bunch of normal perks, the no surprise fees, the money in your account earns interest, all the things that you would really, really hope to have from a bank or a credit union. You also get things like 10% off food and gear on game days at Empower Field. You get a debit card that has a Broncos logo on it. There's a Bo Nix debit card that's really cool. You also, every time you swipe it 15 times, you get another chance to win tickets to a Denver Broncos home game. It's a really cool account that they've got set up over there that you guys should check out. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head to ent.com/DMVR. That's ent.com/DMVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA, membership required, account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
All right, we're going to keep things in the Hank tank here. Hank, this is a fun one.
This is a really fun one.
In fact,
so we've been doing the stock up, stock down. I think today we flip over to helmet stickers because almost everybody's in the stock up category.
Yeah.
I think we get to do
evolved.
it. Let's
Bo Nix evolved. Sean Payton evolved.
Everybody.
The
I'm going to
Broncos
start.
evolved.
I'm
And
going
the
to
Hank
start
Tank
with
evolved.
Nik Bonitto.
Oh.
He. You almost have to start by talking about the Eagles, and remember that Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata are the best tackle duo in the NFL. Like, that's kind of been established now for a couple years. Nobody really argues. Trent Williams might still be the best tackle. I think even that's probably gone. This was probably the toughest game for Nik Bonitto this season. Because beyond those tackles, you also have to worry about the run game with Saquon Barkley. You also have Jalen Hurts, a mobile quarterback back there, so you have to be really focused on staying in your lane. There are a lot of things that make this a tough game for Nik Bonitto. What does he do? 2.5 sacks.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good day for Nik Bonitto, who now has, I think it's 6.5.
Wait, no, he started the day with 4.5.
It must be 7.
So he has
I think
7.
we tweeted 2.5.
Jeez, 7 sacks.
Maybe it's only 2. It's a great day for Nik Bonitto because he was just beating up on those guys. Even when he wasn't getting the sack, he's getting in the backfield. We did the round table this week. Is Pat Surtain or Nik Bonitto more likely to win Defensive Player of the Year this year? Zach said Nik Bonitto. Zach said Nik Bonitto because, look, the numbers speak for themselves. He's so productive. I made the case for Pat because even if Pat hasn't had the hot start, he's seen as one of the NFL's best defenders. And when it comes to those awards races, you get a little leeway. But before Pat won it, Myles Garrett won it when he was 7th in the NFL in sacks. But it didn't matter. It's Myles Garrett. You get to jump some of those guys. Nik Bonitto should be leading the race for Defensive Player of the Year, and I bet if we check the odds tomorrow, he will be. Like, this start that he's off to is unbelievable. The fact that, he could... Does Von Miller have the Broncos sack record?
Yes, 18.5.
18.5? Nick's on pace to break that, as crazy as that sounds.
He is. He's way past it because he came into this game on pace for 19.
Right.
So now he's going to be on pace for, I don't know.
It was 2.5 today,
Over
came
20.
in with 4.5. So he is at 7. I'll do the quick math.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, Nik Bonitto, man, he's on track to becoming a household name very quickly. There's going to be some people who are late to the party who don't have him in the conversation with, like, the TJ Watts and the Myles Garretts and the name brand pass rushers in this league, but we can't be far away from it. The only thing that I think is stopping it from happening right now is that the game that just happened was in the 11 a.m. window.
I agree, and I will add, we talked about this during the watch-along. I think, RK, you pointed it out. The next step for Bonitto to be that clear-cut DPOY is taking the ball away.
Yeah.
Because the TJ Watts, the Myles Garretts, they have the strip sacks. The Von Millers, they have the strip sacks. They take the ball away. They sack the quarterback, and they knock it. They get fumbles. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just adding that on. That's just the next step of him to become that household name is when you start sacking the quarterback and you got strip sacks.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That is part of it because those plays change games directly on their head. The sacks are amazing, but when you're able to create turnovers, they absolutely just flip the game on their head.
I mean, we obviously know Von for the Super Bowl and the strip sack on Cam Newton, but even think about the Raiders one where he had Derek Carr, where he sacked Derek Carr, and then on the way down he took the ball from him.
Yeah.
Like just little things like that, but definitely helmet sticker for Nik Bonitto.
On pace for 23.8. Ridiculous.
We're in NFL record chasing territory now.
Is it still Strahan with like 22, or did TJ Watt break it?
Strahan and TJ Watt both at
Okay.
22.5.
Whew. I'm on pace. And again,
We're in NFL record chasing territory.
when do we get to start feeling like, okay, so you're on pace after 5 games, long season to go. Is it halfway through the season we start saying like, okay, this
Halfway
is
mark.
we're on Nik Bonitto watch?
Yes. And by the way, congratulations to the Broncos and their ownership group for getting that extension done, because they probably would have had to cancel plans for building the new stadium if they didn't already sign Nik Bonitto to an extension based on how much money he would have already made himself this season.
Yeah. No, there's a good chance that you'd be paying double. Like, that's kind of what we're looking
about
at.
that.
I mean, you would know better than us. I don't know what it feels
I've never
like.
been extended like that.
But you've at least been around guys who have. I don't know what it feels like to you already have set up multiple generations of your family with life-changing money, so like I don't know how bad you could feel, but like Henry just said, you honestly might be looking at double that if you just waited until right now to sign that extension.
Because he signed what, 25 mil?
What was the actual contract, Hank?
4 years, 106.
Yeah,
So he's at 26.5 a year.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
wouldn't
you
have been
could have been
cold.
looking at over 40.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, $15 million per is that's crazy money.
It is.
Well, he can find some ways in endorsements.
Here's how I would spin it for Nick. You're going to be on a better football team because of it.
Is that really spinning it for him?
I mean, what else? I'm looking for. I think that's. I mean, if you have to find a silver lining for losing or not cashing in on that money, I wouldn't say losing it. The silver lining is you'll have a better supporting cast.
He could rip that deal up, though. I mean, I think
That's true.
Open,
Here we go. This is going to be the Zach take.
Yeah. You if you're open-minded, if the Broncos stay on this trajectory, continue to win, the ownership will do right by him, tear up the deal, and like, hey, we'll give you $10 million more, but we still need people around you. But that's a conversation for another day.
It is a conversation for another day. All right, Hank, keep them rolling.
Second helmet sticker. A man who is now on pace for 1,241 yards this year.
Oh my God.
Courtland Sutton.
Wow.
Courtland Sutton. The third downs today that he converted, unbelievable. The one on the final drive where he has Quinyon Mitchell's arm in between his two arms as he brings it in on the sideline, just ridiculous. Like, that takes a different level of strength. And those are the plays that wide receiver ones make. You know, we've had the conversation about Courtland Sutton for years now about whether he really is in that, maybe not top tier, but in those top two tiers, the guys who you can go to in big moments and trust. So far this season, he has been that guy over and over again. Had a few of those plays today. I love it. I think Courtland is, what he's doing is very sustainable, and I think that's my favorite part.
Yeah, I think Courtland has officially marked himself as a true wide receiver one.
Yep.
And there's been debate about that throughout the course of his career. But I think he really leveled up over the last 3 years, and now he's doing it at a really consistent level. You know, there's people, maybe us, making like Houdini comments at points of his career because he would have games, quarters, halves, where he would just disappear. Over the last 3 years, he really hasn't done that. He's been very consistent in his production for the Broncos, and it feels like he might have even leveled up again this year.
Yeah, I think he's definitely taken a step, and he is in that top tier or top two tier of receiver. Yeah, just consistent, making big plays, consistently there on third down. The 50-50 balls, he's winning almost 90% of the time, just playing at an elite level. And I had him at the beginning of the season. He was my, I guess, a bold prediction, but I had Courtland for 1,500 yards to start the season.
Yeah.
So
It's within reach.
Yeah,
It's
within
alive.
reach. I mean, if he keeps having big games like this, you know, these 100-yard games, I mean, Sean's feeding him too.
And he's yet to have like a big game where like he has such a mismatch that they're just throwing it up for him down the field, and
It's getting ready to come these next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sauce this week. I think that's his statement game. You go out there and put 100 on Sauce and get to have some conversations.
Is Sauce that elite?
No, he's not, which is why it's the perfect situation.
It is.
Because he's still Sauce Gardner, but he's not that good anymore.
And famously, if there's something English food lacks, it's sauce.
Right. Right. He will be the only Sauce in England.
It's just, sauce doesn't show up in England.
There we go. Now we're set. Got to give the helmet sticker to Bo Nix. I think we've kind of hit on all there is to say about Bo, though, right? Like, he was just electric, being able to put those drives together at the end of the game. Some tough breaks early on, drops. There was the ball to Marvin Mims down by the goal line, trying to convert was it 4th and short? And Mims just kind of stops running and leads him a little too far.
It was 3rd and short.
3rd and short. There we go. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Great game from Bo, though, especially in those big moments, the kind of stuff that makes you excited about everything that he can do in the future. Another helmet sticker. Jaquan. Not so many. 3 really important plays, though. The breakup, the the blitz in particular, going and getting that sack, that's what the Broncos are all about. Like, that's what made this defense so special last year, was that you were not only sending your 4 guys in front, but finding somebody else to go with, whether it was Justin Sternad, who's really, really good at blitzing, whether it was Jaquan, whether it was PJ Locke. They were sending all these different blitzes off of these different sides, and I felt like we hadn't quite seen that work out to this level. Jaquan obviously gets a sack. Ufunga's getting back there. I think that aspect of this defense is maybe what I'm most encouraged about, because it feels like you're getting back to what you did last year. The things that stunned quarterbacks, because you're sending extra rushers off one side, having extra defenders on the other, dropping Nik Bonitto in coverage. We saw him make a good tackle late in the game. But the key to all that working is Jaquan and Ufunga getting home when you blitz them off the edge, and Jaquan did that today.
Yeah. Did Jaquan end up getting a sack?
I think he got that sack, right? Or what? Okay. Maybe it was just a pressure. No, it was a sack.
It was? I was wrong earlier then when I said I didn't think they actually generated a sack out of that DB pressure.
Jaquan did it.
Nice. Keep it going.
Keep him going. Give me Pat. I think that it's easy to forget. You know, Pat gives up one catch for like 5 yards on a 3rd and 4, whatever it was to A.J. Brown. You're like, oh, no. You have to remember, every cornerback gives up catches. Pat just gives up so few of them. There was the pass interference also. You got to live with those if you have Pat Surtain on your team. He's a physical cornerback. He's out there fighting. That was, to me, probably the right call, but it was so close to not being the right call. He gets that handoff just a little bit quicker. It's not. There are a couple of those things that you look at, but when you shut down A.J. Brown the way that he shut him down today, it's still a helmet sticker.
How many catches?
Still was a net positive.
How many catches? 5 catches for what, 34? 48 or something like that?
5 for 43.
5 for 43. I mean.
Yeah. I think they said on the broadcast that Pat's gone 34 consecutive games without allowing 70 yards to his receiver.
He has a touchdown streak, too. I'm not sure what it is, but there's another streak.
I mean, that's elite level cornerback play. Right?
Yeah. And the stuff that he was giving up to AJ, which at a point in the game did start to get a little frustrating, because I think there was like 3 in pretty close succession. It was the stuff you have to live with.
Yeah.
You know, the short stuff.
6-yard catches.
Yeah.
7-yard catches.
The specialists. We'll round it out. Jeremy Crawshaw, great day. Will Lutz, some important kicks.
Yes. 55-yarder, by the way.
Yeah, not easy to do. Easy to forget that is a really hard thing to do when everybody in the NFL is kicking those now. Executed on special teams. That kickoff even at the end to pin them back inside the 30. It's risky to not just take the touchback when the Eagles need to go the length of the field.
Yeah.
With the minute 14. They made the right call. They trusted the special teams. I think maybe the best special teams game of the year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we witnessed a conversation between Sean and Rizzy on the sidelines. That was very heated.
Yep.
And I have no idea what they were talking about. But right after it, they did end up kicking it in bounds. So I assume that maybe it was about whether or not they're going to kick it or just kick it out of the end zone and give them at the 35. They decided to kick the ball in play. And after that big play on special teams, Sean and Rizzy just with the biggest high five. So hype. So I love to see that.
All right.
That's all you got?
I mean, some push in the chat.
Evan Engram?
DJ Jones. Evan Engram, it's so close.
Well, you made it such
We'll give it to it. First touchdown. We can give him the helmet sticker.
Yeah,
he earned
he's
it with
getting
that.
one from me for sure. An individual effort on that. And an amazing catch to get the drive started.
Yep.
He doesn't make that play. Who knows how this game ends? 2nd and 10 in your own territory.
No helmet stickers for Sean Payton and
they don't have
Vance
helmets.
Joseph.
Some headsets. We can give him headset stickers.
Headset stickers.
Yeah, headset stickers for those guys. And then DJ Jones had that big blow up. Whenever you're able to stop the run, he is the important piece there. And I think that's important to remember. For his entire time he's been in Denver, people kind of overlook DJ because he's a nose tackle. And Zach Allen gets the sacks. JFN gets the sacks. His job is to put him in 3rd and long. And typically, it's not the sexiest job. Today, he has the one really big stuff to go with the other stuff. I'll give him in particular. The rest of the defensive line you could probably give credit to as well.
You got any that you want to give out?
I'm with you. Evan Engram deserves a helmet sticker to me. I thought, made some big-time catches, the catch-and-run opportunity on the delay route, on the play-action fake that he scored on. I mean, he had to break a couple tackles and dive into the end zone there. And I think it's just really good just to see that. I'd also give a helmet sticker to the offensive line. I thought they protected well. And I also have to give a helmet sticker to J.K. Dobbins, 20 rushes for 79 yards, a lot of positive rushes, a lot of rushes where it looked like there was nothing there, and he was able to set up blocks and to have positive momentum. So I think J.K. Dobbins also has a helmet sticker for me because of the swagger that he brings to the offense. I haven't seen that from the Broncos running back room in a really long time, that type of swagger where he just, shrugging the shoulders and just hype after, getting first downs. Little things like that to me are very big in a huddle.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I could just keep going, I think, all day. I don't know if there's anyone who doesn't deserve a helmet sticker.
Adkins.
Yes.
Palcho had a big block.
Yes. Talanoa Hufunga.
Right.
Big plays.
Brandon Jones had a good tackle.
Brandon Jones did have a good tackle. You can go through. I mean, it takes a village.
It does.
To knock off the Super Bowl champions, and I felt like the Broncos really brought it today. Do you see this tweet? Yeah.
I'm getting it up right now.
Harrison just sent us a funny tweet to bring up here, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're waiting on Zach, who
Somebody
is waiting.
asked me, why do I hate Denver? What is he talking about?
Don't worry about it. Sometimes the chat doesn't know what they're talking about. You mean the guy who played for the Broncos and decided to make Denver his home afterwards? Right. And then does podcasts about the Broncos every week? Let's bring up the tweet, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're waiting on Zach. He's still waiting on the interview. Nik Bonitto with the meme here, locking in the fourth quarter, taking his game to the next level. I love seeing these guys have fun. I assume Zach is delayed because Club Dub is staying open late tonight.
Could be.
So
that's going to be a fun plane ride whenever they get on the plane.
Yes. All right. Let's hit our last break, and then I'm going to ask you guys a little something from the big picture. But first, a shout out to Coors Light. I talked about a celebratory Taco Bell run. How about some celebratory Coors Lights to celebrate this victory? I have to go to my niece's first birthday party. But one thing I know about it is my brother-in-law is going to have the Coors Lights on deck. He always does. So I'll be having some over there celebrating her and the Broncos' victory.
Nice.
But whatever you're celebrating, whatever you have going on, whenever it's time to chill, and chill can be celebration too, you want to hit up our friends over at Coors Light. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is the mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Also, shout out to Bolo Sports. I mentioned on the show this week, I was up in Montana for the game against Idaho last Saturday. Halftime, one of my friends brought football. We were running some one-on-ones. They were 0 for 7 throwing at me. Felt really good. Makes me want to join a flag football league over at Bolo. Hopefully I could get away with my level of physicality there, but they know ball. I'm sure I could. They've got all sorts of different sports, whether it's soccer, volleyball, pickleball, kickball, basketball, cornhole, literally anything, drinking games, anything you could think of, they've got a league, and they're all over the city. So whether you're in Lodo, Rhino, Highlands, City Park, Cherry Creek, South Broadway, Bolo has a league for you. It's not for just really intense, talented competitors like me. If you're new to a sport or haven't played often, you feel like you're out of shape, you're using it to get in better shape, they've got a league for you for all different skill levels. So players can sign up as a free agent, small group, or full team. All ability levels and backgrounds are welcome to join. Use code DNVR10, $10 off any Bolo Denver league.
All right, one quick thing to the chat. If you are complaining after this game, you'll just never be happy. I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how you can do it. It doesn't sound fun. You got to be happy after the wins. Come on, guys. Jeez. And one guy who I know is happy, and I heard the chime, so I know he's here, is our guy, Zachary David Stevens. My guy. The Broncos are back, baby.
The Broncos are so back, and guys, this game was beyond massive. This is as big of a Week 5 game as you can have, and the Broncos just did it because I know you guys have already talked about how Bo Nix has arrived this was his moment. We'll get into that. But also, Courtland Sutton arrived. Nik Bonitto arrived. The Broncos defense closed out a game. The Broncos offense came in when it mattered most, and the Sean Payton Broncos have arrived. They just won the toughest game in the entire NFL this entire season. We talked about it entering the game. We did not shy away from that. How the Broncos are playing the undefeated Super Bowl champs on the road on a short week. The Broncos made it even more difficult for themselves by getting in a 14-point deficit entering the fourth quarter. And Bo Nix said, I'm not going out like that. Led not one, not two, but 3 scoring drives, went 3 for 3, and they were all exactly how you wanted them to look, including the very final one, where it's 11 plays, takes nearly every single second off the clock. And guys, this is the moment for Bo Nix, because when it comes to Bo, it had been 39 years since the Broncos had beat the Eagles in Philadelphia. You know who was the quarterback of that team? John Elway. And that was John Elway's first Pro Bowl season. Dare I say, this could spark that for Bo Nix as well. That's how big of a win this is for the Broncos. It was unbelievably difficult circumstances, and the Broncos and Bo Nix did it absolutely cold-blooded all the way around, including starting from the top with Sean Payton going for 2 at the end of the game when they did not need to. And you could just tell that the Broncos were absolutely going to convert. And we could talk about that. And actually, let's just dive into it right now. The reason that Sean Payton went for 2 is he said, I just knew we were going to get it. We were rolling, we had the momentum, and I had the play calls. Sean said he left 4 play calls that he loved in his back pocket. He burned them because of the way the game went, and he was so frustrated. That was the thing he was most frustrated about with this game, is that he had 4 more calls that he really loved, and the 5th one was the one that he used on that 2-point conversion to Troy Franklin. How about Bo going to Troy on that? By the way, another guy that stepped up and had his moment and he arrived, Courtland Sutton, and he's a Pro Bowl receiver already, but this is that step to take him over the top. He comes up big, 8 catches on 10 targets for 99 yards. Okay, guys, I'll finally let you ask me a question.
Zach, talk a little bit, man. Great to see you, bud. Love the energy. Talk a little bit about the energy that was in the locker room, man. What was it like just being in the locker room? What was Club Dub like? What were the smiles like? What were people saying in the locker room? Just give us a little bit of insight on the energy in the locker room.
Well, Benny, it's a great question. You couldn't see in Club Dub. The smoke machine, they brought extras. They brought in backup for this comeback.
You sure that was the machine?
I don't know what it was, but it was a good party in there. And I'll tell you what's going to be a good party is that plane ride to London. I'm bummed that I'm on an American Airlines flight, not on that charter, because that is going to be insane. DJ Jones was asked about what this win means for the plane ride to London. He said, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you. That's going to be so awesome. Club Dub was awesome. Sean Payton was doing his press conference right outside of Club Dub, and I kid you not, for the entire 13 minutes that Sean Payton talked, which is a very long time, shows you the type of mood he was in after the game, the door was vibrating because of how loud the music was. An incredible environment, but what I will say, the Broncos are celebrating this, but they're not treating it like they just accomplished the ultimate goal, and I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case, and that's the mindset of this team that I absolutely love, because Nik Bonitto, Bo Nix, Courtland Sutton, Sean Payton said this after the game. They said, we did not come here to play a close game. We did not come here to give the Philadelphia Eagles a scare. We came here to win this game. And Sean Payton looked at the locker room and said, who are you afraid of? And the room was quiet. That just shows the mentality of this team, and that's what this win does. It's not just all talk. This win gives you the confidence. Yeah, bring on the Chiefs. We'll go into Arrowhead at Christmas night and beat them. The Chargers, who we just lost to a couple weeks ago, we're not afraid of them, especially after this game. And guys, another reason why this win is so big is the Broncos just dumped that demon off of them of not being good in close games, of not being able to beat good teams under Sean Payton. They just broke all of that. So this win, huge for this year, by the way. We haven't even mentioned how the Broncos are 3-2, and they have a very long stretch of very, very winnable games right now. And now that the Broncos did beat the Eagles, you can start looking down the road. They got the Jets next week and the Giants and the Cowboys, but we're focusing on this game right now, and this win I do think that this win is going to be one that we look back in 10, 15 years, and we're talking about Bo Nix having a great career and saying, man, this was the one that really not turned it around for Bo, that allowed him to take off. And the exact same thing for Sean Payton. And this is a Bo Nix and Sean Payton team that went to the playoffs last year and got that demon off of them. This win is bigger than any of them.
Zach, apologies if we ask you anything that you already talked about. We're having a very hard time hearing you. So if I ask you a question that you already answered, just pretend like I asked another question and answer that. The two-point conversion. I think it's one of the biggest moments of the Sean Payton era. I think it was an incredible statement of confidence in the football team, and I think that confidence that Sean instilled in the team helped them to get over the hump and close out a close game. What did Sean say about why he called that and why they went that direction?
He was unbelievably confident, and that's why he did it. And he said that he knew that the play was going to work. And you could tell when the Broncos lined up in their formation that they knew it was going to work. And the reason that he knew it was going to work was because they knew that Quinyon Mitchell was going to line up across Courtland Sutton. So the play was always designed to go to the right side where Troy Franklin was, because they knew they had the matchup there. And Sean Payton said, I'm sorry if you guys have heard this already, but Sean Payton said he left the game with 4 plays that he absolutely loved in his back pocket. He said that's what frustrates him the most out of this game, is that he had 4 great plays that he didn't get to use, but this was the 5th one that he did get to use against this Eagles defense. And now he says, we don't play this defense for a long time now. He didn't say this, but maybe until the Super Bowl. After this when you can start thinking that we don't play this defense for a long time, and now I don't get to use these 4 plays, kind of wasted. But Ryan, to answer your question on why he went for it, they knew exactly what they were going to get, and he knew that Troy Franklin was going to be open. He had all the confidence in the world, and not just both throwing it, but Troy catching it as well, and that's exactly what happened.
Hey, Zach, I have a question, man. What did Sean say that changed in the second half with the offense? What got the offense going? What got them back in rhythm?
Well, it's a great question, Benny. And actually, Sean Payton didn't really say anything changed. In fact, he told the team at halftime, we've got him right where we want him. And then in the fourth quarter, maybe he didn't feel that good about it as well. But he knew that if the Broncos were going to win, it was going to be a lower scoring game. He loved the way the defense was playing. And how could you not? Nik Bonitto was an absolute monster, and he just said, we need to get this game close, and we're going to win. And I'll tell you when it changed for the players, when the Broncos went down and had their first touchdown in the fourth quarter, that J.K. Dobbins run, that's when the offense said, look, we got the monkey off our back. We finally scored a touchdown. They knew that the defense was going to get a stop and that they were going to go score again. And the defensive side, they felt the exact same way. Just once the offense got going in the fourth, they knew that they were going to win that game. And it did get close at the very end, but they said that they had no doubts at the end that the Broncos defense was going to come up with a stop there, and they certainly did. So, Sean, surprisingly enough, at halftime, when the Broncos have 100 yards of offense, they have so many penalties, they were still able to come away with the win, and he felt good at where they were at half. And, guys, just one more thing that I have to say before I forget it is these penalties, the Broncos were their biggest opponent again. And yet they were still able to go into the Super Bowl champion team, the one of 2 undefeated teams in the NFL, and beat them despite having over 100 yards of penalties. One, the penalties have to get corrected, but when they do get corrected, even if it's not perfect, if it's cut in half so it's 50 yards of penalties and 5 penalties, guys, this team is going to be very, very difficult. They're their biggest roadblock from being 5-0 right now. But I think we'll all take 3-2 after winning this game.
Absolutely, Zach. We always start the show with the 3 of us with our biggest takeaway. What is your biggest takeaway from this game?
It's Sean Payton and Bo Nix's team have completely arrived. And like I said earlier, guys, this is going to be the game that we look back on and say that was the biggest win of Sean's victory until they won the AFC Championship game, until they won the Super Bowl. And we're going to say the exact same thing for Bo Nix. And I think a fun little storyline is that the last time that the Broncos beat the Eagles in Philadelphia, John Elway was the quarterback of his first Pro Bowl season. I think that's going to be a fun one for Bo Nix moving forward. And those are massive shoes to fill. But you just win a game like this with 15 points, I guess actually 18 unanswered points scored in the fourth quarter against the defending Super Bowl champs. Come on, why put the brakes on, right? And I heard you saying right before I joined that there's some people concerned or negative or not happy about this. What are we doing? This is the biggest win the Broncos have had in a decade since Benny Fowler was winning a Super Bowl with the team. This is the biggest win that the Broncos have had. Enjoy it. And it should only get more wins from here. But in terms of how big this is, guys, we got to go deep into the playoffs until we're finding a game that's bigger than this one. So enjoy it. This is huge for Bo. This is huge for Sean. This is huge for Courtland Sutton, who just came up big over and over and over again, especially after that drop that he had early in the game. He came up money in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix, Sean said on that 3rd and long that the Broncos converted, which was so big in the fourth quarter, Sean said, I knew because of Bo and how he was feeling, he was going to Courtland Sutton regardless of that play. Bo pushed back on it a little and said, well, I was going to read the defense, but then he went to Court just because he trusts him that much. This is the biggest win of Courtland Sutton's career as well. And then how about Nik Bonitto? 2.5 sacks. Guys, Nik Bonitto, I believe, only trails Elvis Dumervil for the most sacks in Denver Broncos history through 5 games with a 2.5 sack performance. Yes, that's more than Vaughn ever had. And we know Vaughn has 18.5 sacks. That's a franchise record. Nik Bonitto is on pace to break that. Nik Bonitto is playing incredible. And I didn't get to talk about the defense enough, so I'm just going to take this opportunity that you guys are having to rock and roll with it, because this defense, guys, they did exactly what they needed to do. At first, it was like, where's the pass rush? Oh, the pass rush is keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket, forcing him to be a throwing quarterback, not allowing him to escape, to create the type of plays he does with his feet, and then with his feet that turn into the arm throws. And then it transitioned where the pass rush just put that much more on it, where they were containing Jalen, but then also getting to him. That sack by Nik Bonitto and Zach Allen was huge, and then Nik Bonitto just came up big time and time again. They got after Jalen Hurts 5 times. That's not easy to do against a mobile quarterback. That's not easy to do against Jalen Hurts. That's not easy to do, to bring the guy down that can squat, 700 pounds. We didn't see one tush push. The Broncos did exactly what they needed to do about keeping the Eagles out of 3rd and short. Guys, it's an incredible win, especially where the vibes were entering the fourth quarter. I mean, imagine if this fourth quarter didn't happen. We're talking about completely different things, but it did. And one more thing that I got to talk about is Sean Payton, guys. He just got the win that took him past Bill Parcells for the most regular season victories in NFL history. He's now 15th and just passed his mentor. He was the one that got the game ball from Greg Penner after the game, and boy, does he deserve it. What a perfect way for him to pass Bill Parcells.
Love it, man. Great stuff, Zach. We appreciate you.
Zach, great to see you, bud.
We appreciate you traveling all across the world to cover this football team, and we will see you in London.
Oh, let's go, baby. The Broncos taking on the Jets next week. I can't wait for you guys to get out there on Wednesday. And, man, the Broncos are so freaking back. And they're not just back. They're taking off to the moon, guys. Let's go.
Let's go. Later, Zach. All right, guys. I'm not done talking about this game yet. Sorry. I want to just, before we close out, look at the big picture. One thing that I talked about going into this week was the opportunity that this team had in terms of when this game was occurring. Because you fly all the way to the East Coast to play the Eagles. You get to play against them. Now you've beat them. But you don't go back to your families or anything like that. No, these guys are leaving Club Dub and they're staying together. And then they're going across the world. They're going to London, where they're going to spend a whole other week together. This is such a fortifying moment for a football team, and for them to get this win so that they have a good taste in their mouth as they travel across the pond is so huge to me, and I really think can be like an all-time kind of team bonding week ahead of them right here.
Yeah, a long week, a long trip like this over in London, the conversations that can be had on a 7.5-hour trip, the conversations that can be had for the receivers and the quarterbacks, just talking about different things, what they've seen, what they have seen over the first 5 weeks, what they can try to hit on. Sean also just being on a plane after a win like this is one of the most incredible feelings that you can have. I mean, people high-fiving on the plane, people talking about certain things. The conversation is very lively. But, yeah, this is a great team bonding opportunity for a week over in London. And then, most importantly, putting yourselves at 4-2, hopefully, leaving London. And then the following week after that, we're going to be celebrating the Super Bowl 50 team. We'll all be back against the Giants. So, man, shout out to the Broncos today, getting a dub and now heading over to London.
Henry, what does this game do for your big picture view of this team?
That's a good question. So I'm not surprised. I've been saying they're going to win this game for months. Based on the way season started, I thought the Broncos were a good team that couldn't execute, and the Eagles, they're still working through some things themselves. So I can't say that it totally changes my perspective of the team, but it does. It's the difference between 3-2 and 2-3. And when you go look at this next stretch with the Jets and the Giants and trying to think, the Commanders are in there, Chiefs are in there, a couple more games before that.
Yeah.
There's a real path to be looking at that 6-2, 7-2 spot if you can go and execute. And I think that, it doesn't necessarily change what I think this team is. It just changes what your record is if you can take care of business through this next stretch. I believe you could get to 6-2 before the Chiefs game. Got to beat the Cowboys in there. The Texans are in there. But they're all games that you could really go out there and win. And so I think that's what's on the table is now you're back into execution mode, which isn't as much fun as getting a chance to go on the road and get an upset. It's kind of a win or you're a disappointment. But it's right there for them. And I think that now you hopefully have this momentum you can carry into the next month or so.
Yeah. I mean,
so real quick, Jets, Giants, Cowboys, Texans, Raiders. Win those, you're 8-2 going into the Chiefs. So Texans and Cowboys are tough.
You get a chance to win the New York State Championship, and then you get a chance to win the Texas State Championship.
Right.
Those are all winnable games, too.
Very winnable games, and a chance to really go on a run here. And like I said, I mean, the catalyst of being together for this, almost 10 days is so massive, I think, of what this team can be. To me, the Broncos just announced themselves as a real Super Bowl contender. It was always, it was a fun pick for people in the offseason to say, I don't know, the Broncos, they could have the pieces. But when you go on the road and you beat the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, you tell me that you can play with anyone. You tell me that you can play with the team that knocked off everyone. Now, it's not the exact team that they had last year, and I think they're a little more flawed. But I think the Broncos announced themselves as a real Super Bowl contender. I'm curious to see what this is at tomorrow. Right now, they currently have entered the top 10 in odds to win the Super Bowl for this year. So it goes Bills, Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Packers, Chargers, Ravens. I don't know what they're doing there. 49ers, Rams, Broncos. I mean, all of those teams you're talking about, except for maybe the Ravens, the best teams in the NFL you're in that group with. And you're definitely in the second tier, at least. But I think the Broncos announced themselves today as a team that can actually go and win these games. And it's pretty cool.
I can't say that just yet.
All right.
I am going to hold out on that. I just need more of a sample size of games. I need more consistent play. So the Cincinnati win was big. This is a huge win and a gritty win. And a great second half of ball. If the second half, the way they played in the second half, if you can have more consistent quarters or opportunities like that, then yes. But I'm not quite there yet.
Well, let me ask you this. If the Broncos had not done leverage against the Colts and won that game, and if they had gotten the stop against the Chargers and they were 5-0 right now, would you feel that way?
Yeah, if they were 5-0, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, I'm there, and you're this close.
Yeah. For being Super Bowl contenders, 5-0. But, yeah, Super Bowl teams don't have 100 yards and penalties, and that's a consistent theme every single week. That's a real problem. Slow starts in, the first half, little things, little details. I mean, they're close. They're definitely a playoff team, but Super Bowl,
I just said contender.
Most Super Bowl teams, even or contending teams, like have one unit that is crazy consistent. Like, and I mean like elite level of consistency. For the Chiefs, the last couple of years, it's been their defense.
Pass rush? Or you're talking about a whole side of the ball?
Whole side of the ball.
Okay.
Whole side of the ball. Like, there is no picking O'Reilly. Those should be like interceptions, and then defense is taking the ball away. But they're trending upwards. So let's look back at halfway through the season.
I like it, man. Henry, where are you at?
I feel good. I mean, it's a week-by-week league.
It is a week-by-week
go
league.
take care of business, and then we'll see where they are. I think if you want to really start thinking Super Bowl, it's that Chiefs game. I think you need to. You don't necessarily have to
the team
run.
That the Eagles beat in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's beaten the Eagles. That was 18 in a row with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Like, Broncos did something nobody can do. And I don't blame anybody who's getting excited, but I just go win some easy games. Go grow. Go get better. And then in 2 months when you play the Chiefs, hopefully you've won 6 games by then, or 5 games by then. You win that one too, then you're certainly in it. If you lose one or two, then we'll see.
When you become a Super Bowl contender, so what's the one piece that the Broncos are missing right now? Because usually Super Bowl contenders trade for a piece at the deadline to take them over the top. I don't know what that position is right now for the Broncos, but there's something that the Broncos are missing right now that takes them to the next level.
Like I said, the Broncos are going to announce that their trade deadline acquisition is Dre Greenlaw. And I think that maybe
I forgot that he's not even playing.
I know. I think that maybe he might be the key to that. The reason why I feel so good about this is because I believe the Broncos are on an upward trend right now. And so they're not a finished product. We're seeing Bo elevate right now. We're seeing the defense find their groove. I mean, they gave up 17 points today. You know, there were some moments there where it was frustrating. They still gave up 17 points. It's this team, we've not seen their best yet.
Yeah. No, we haven't.
They're 3-2 with a win over the defending Super Bowl champions. So this is a great day in Broncos country, and I think we're about to really go on a run.
I'm excited.
We can't wait to talk about it with you guys the rest of this week. This is going to be, what was that?
Super Chats?
Oh, yes. Okay. We'll get to Super Chats first. Let's do it. All right, Super Chats right now. From Matthew Cody, who says, can you make them a little bit bigger? Who says, that was lit AF. They smelled blood in the water and went for it. That's the killer instinct. And by the way, I told you guys what an Eagles game looks like. I've watched all too many of them. They either go up early and let off the gas or start off slow and turn it on late. This was the go up early and let off the gas version of the Eagles. And then usually they just find a way to win it at the end, pull it out of their ass. Broncos didn't let them do it. It's pretty awesome. Next one from Wyoming Cowboy. Oh, no, sorry. From the Blind Swordsman, who says, I know it's Sunday and I shouldn't swear, but fuck yeah, baby. Bo is the one. Let's go. Wyoming Cowboy says, that was a real win against a real team. No disrespect to the Titans and Bengals, but this was the biggest win of Sean Payton's time in Denver and Bo's biggest win in the NFL. I agree. I think we all agree, Wyoming Cowboy. Next one from Joaquin Salas. Love from Central California. Insane win and happy to have found y'all this offseason, man. Welcome to the family. We're so lucky to have you riding along with us. We appreciate you. Next one from Chris Peters. I bet big on the Broncos money line today. Won money and lost about 20 pounds by sweating this game out. Go Broncos. Thank you, Chris. Congrats on the betting dub. I assume you were over at our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Tim G with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Alex Ungerman, been shaking for 20 straight minutes. Season-changing win. Go Broncos. Hell yeah, Alex. Another one from Wyoming Cowboy. Sean Payton is the alpha dog of Dove Valley. He certainly was not afraid to show that today. Another one from Tim G. I'm someone from Pennsylvania. I love to see us beat the Eagles. Let's Bo. I bet Tim has a fun day at work ahead of him tomorrow.
100%.
From Lobo. We are so fucking back, boys. It feels like the old days right now. Let's go, Lobo. We are back. Alfonso, 15-2 the rest of the way, baby. Sure, why not? Just win all of the rest of the games.
For sure, Super Bowl contender then.
Yeah, facts. From Robert Potts, against the Super Bowl champs, Bo looked so comfortable. He really did. And huge credit to the offensive line, who we probably haven't talked about enough, for making that a possibility. There was a couple lapses, but especially when the game was on the line, I felt like they protected Bo very well. Next one from Jorge. Question is Moss a weak spot, or is that the nature of playing opposite number 2? It's a question we've debated a lot. I firmly believe that it's the nature of playing across from Pat Surtain. You're going to end up with a lot of opportunities, and the more opportunities you get, the more you're going to get beat. It's just the way it works. It's a volume thing. And by the way, I think Riley Moss has probably passed his 2 toughest matchups of the season. The Cowboys, with a healthy CeeDee Lamb, would be the other one. But the T. Higgins draw and the Devontae Smith draw, like those guys are number 1 wide receivers that you're having to guard as a number 2 corner.
Yeah, I think the NFL is all about matchups, and you have to find somewhere to go with the ball. And right now, it's either Riley or our linebackers.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
Yep. Not the pot says, love the vibes, love the content. RK, don't hate me. Sorry for last week. I just like to drink during the game. I heard your tone. I'll be a good noodle. I don't even remember what we're talking about, but thank you.
You also like to drink during games.
Sure do. Not today, though. French Blitz, French guy here. 3 years listening to you every single day on the pod and wondering what it would be the right time to drop my first super chat. Here it is. So fired up. Hope to see you guys next week in London. Allez Broncos. Thank you, French Blitz. I hope we see you at the live show on Friday night in London, which is going to be an absolute blast. And I'm so happy that we won this game leading into that because we're going to just make it even more of a party.
Yeah, I mean, everybody should be out there for that. That's going to be awesome.
If you're in
tickets are on sale.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if we link to it in the description. If not, thednvr.com. You can go over there. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot planned.
It's going to be so sick. This is going to be more than just a podcast.
It's a cool theater.
We're going to put on a full-on show for you guys.
Are we chugging Coors Lights?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's also a VIP package you can get to do a meet and greet. We'll take a photo.
Yep.
Take a shot if you want.
Yeah.
We'll take a lot of things. From McCaffrey Spicy Mustard, how much longer until the NFL starts putting the proper respect on Bonitto's name? It's coming around the corner like Nik Bonitto.
I think it's more so of the fans. I think a lot of players know who he is, respect him. I saw Brian Burns from the Giants talking about Nik Bonitto's in his top 3 pass rushers in the league. So I think it's more of a fan thing than it is a player. The players know about him.
What's crazy is, do you know who one of 2 players is to have a faster average get-off than Nik Bonitto this year?
This year?
Yep. There's 2 guys.
Garrett?
One of them is Jonathan Cooper. Jonathan Cooper leads the league in the fastest time to cross the line of scrimmage after the snap. And Nik Bonitto's on the other side at 3rd. I forget who's 2nd.
Jeez. That's crazy.
I thought it was Brian Burns. I could be wrong.
It might have been Burnsy. All right, next one from Ricardo, who says, Broncos are back. Big dub, breaking all of their streaks. Hell yeah. Vegas 702, what do you guys think of Bradley Roby's tweet saying refs are cheating for the Broncos? What the hell? I don't know. I thought the game was poorly officiated, but both ways. Next one from Easy E. Every win this season, I have worn a DNVR Bonitto shirt. I need more. Next one from Austin says, we knew our Broncos were capable of this. Couldn't be more proud. Agreed. Another one from Robert Potts. Thank you guys for the super chats. Can't complain about the results, but last week, running backs shared drives mostly. This week, Dobbins 20 attempts, Harvey 4. Thoughts? It's just good coaching, sticking with the hot hand.
Sticking with the hot hand. I think J.K. separated himself a little bit in terms of the carries, just with how well he's seeing the field. And, you roll with a veteran running back and somebody who is just he's running north and south. He understands the leverage of the offensive line and the defenders, and he's just playing really well.
Next one from Taylor. I need Benny's opinion on the wide receiver room. Feels like opportunities to clean things up, like pre-snap alignment, not diving for deep balls, and drops.
I think the receiver room is trending upwards. I think one of the things that's super surprising that we talked about that RK pointed out during the watch along is that Troy Franklin has deceptive speed on these quick screen routes. I think Courtland is playing at the top of his game. I don't think he's played better football than what he's playing right now. I think Mims had a couple of catches, but you saw some of the timing. You saw him catch a hitch route today. You want him to come up with the over route that he missed. But I think right now, I think the receivers are playing decent, and I think they're getting better every single week. And I think they'll continue to trend upwards. So I think Sean right now is finding that rhythm of who can be out there, who's running what routes better, and who's playing the best and has the best rhythm and timing with both. So I think it's continuing to go in the right direction.
Last one here from Gavin. We get Roach back, we get Greenlaw back, and we are a force. Do we know or have any indications on when Greenlaw and Roach should be back? Henry?
Roach can be back as soon as he's healthy.
Okay.
He's waited the 4 weeks. It's just when he's good to go. He didn't practice this week. Greenlaw, he was out the first 3 weeks. Then they put him on IR, right? So he'd have 4 after that. So he'd miss the 2 more New York games, and then he'd be eligible to come back if my math is right.
All right. I think that does it for our Super Chats. Before we get out of here, hit us with a thumbs up. Also, shout out to the 11 Eagles fans who hit us with a thumbs down. We appreciate your view. And as our friends over in the NFC East say, cry, Eagles, cry. We are going to be doing this all week again, of course. Quick programming update. We will have a show tomorrow. That's Monday. We will not have a show Tuesday. We'll be traveling to London. We will have a show Wednesday and Thursday from London. Can't wait to talk to you guys about that. And then we'll have our live show on Friday and, of course, our post-game show on Sunday.
And probably a pregame show, right?
We are going to do a pregame show. Show. The pregame show will probably come out on Saturday,
right? Give you time
rather
to
than
watch
in the wee hours of the morning here in Colorado on Sunday. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching the show today. What a win! The Denver Broncos are back, and they have arrived in the 2025 NFL season. Shout out Benny, shout out Henry, shout out Yaya, and shout out Zach. Shout out to you guys for following along with us. We will talk to you tomorrow.